In this video, we're going to show how to create Illustrator files and mimic the exact dimensions in centimeters to Maya. This is going to be our first thing to learn in our animatronic class, just so we can have confidence and when we print out something that it goes out exactly the same dimensions that we want. All right, so everything in Maya starts off as centimeters, and so we're going to kind of continue that to our project here. So you can see that Illustrator file that we had started is also coming into Maya perfectly. So I made a 2 centimeter square. And what we're going to do is create these same dimensions. We're going to laser cut them, and then I'll show you how we're going to 3D print them. And hopefully with calipers and also with the layover of the cutout, we'll find out if it sits in there correctly. So this is twofold, is get you acclimated to using the 3D printers at the library, and also feel confident to either go to the Build Lab and the LLC, the CID LLC, and also the Build Lab at the library, so you can go in and use the laser cutter. So the library has a lot of great things, and so does the LLC. So we're going to go ahead and get used to using all these different facilities and different things that we need to have complete accuracy when we're doing this, because we are doing animatronics. Things have to link up almost down to the millimeter. All right, so we're going to start from scratch. You may hear some stuff in the background. There's I think a freshman orientation going on outside. All right, so we're going to start fresh. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Illustrator, and we're going to create a new document. Okay, so this is the first day we're going to do this. So we're going to, you may have it on pixels, you may have it on points or inches, but we want to do centimeters, since we know this is kind of the native starting point for Maya. You can change it to inches and so forth, but centimeters is good because it's pretty accurate. It's easy to translate centimeters, millimeters to meters and so forth by just, just moving over the dot, right? It's very simple. So we're going to do 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. It's not that big. It's probably about the width of your phone. So it's easy for us to do a real quick printout, so we're not wasting a lot of filament. Again, this is just a test for you guys to start understanding how to translate Illustrator files into Maya and vice versa. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit create. And you see it's a whole new image here. It is huge. This is not by any means 8 centimeters. This is huge on my screen. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and click on 7.5. All right, yeah, we're going to go a little bit smaller than the actual size, 7.5, and hit create. All right, so when we're creating these, we're going to just kind of put it in the center here. Hopefully it'll kind of snap it. And we're going to go ahead and we just want to outline. All right, so all these we just want to outline. We don't want to fill. I don't think it really matters, but I just want to make it very simple. So what we're going to do is about 4 shapes in here. And we're going to start with 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter. And this is our first shape. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put that. And then we're just going to rinse and repeat. So we're going to go to 1 by 1. Okay, and they're all going to look the same. And near the end, we'll try to make them a little bit different. All right, so we're going to just keep going. So we're just going to go smaller and smaller, 0.5. And you're going to see how small this printer does. And we may just do plexiglass, or we may bring some wood. I don't know. Plexiglass is a little bit more focused. Wood would burn, and sometimes it does a little bit of swelling with the heat. So we got that, and we're going to go 0.25 and 0.25. Enter, and then we'll do one more. Okay, let's do one more. I don't know what the half of that is. Let's just do 0.1. All right, that's tiny, 0.1. All right, that probably won't 3D print. That's pretty dang small. So let's pull this up. Let's actually wait. I actually can see it. All right, that's not bad. All right, so what we're gonna do is grab this and we're gonna try to get this to go center. Sorry for all the noise outside. It is pretty crazy. Here and here. All right. It's not any organization here. You could grab all these and you can center it by using this device. That's kind of cool. So that way we know that they're exactly on the same center line. All right, we're going to do the same thing with circles. So we're going to do kind of same dimensions. We're going to do 2. And this is centimeters. You guys need to start learning what centimeters are. It's pretty small. So we're going to bring this in, rinse and repeat. We're going to just do 1 and 1. All right, we're going to pull this up. Don't worry about centering since we have that one tool. And we're going to do 0.5. And again, we're going to 3D print these out. So hopefully everything lines up, or we know the tolerances. Oops, Apple Z. Pull Apple Z one more time. Pull this up. And let's do one more. 0.25. And it sounds like a party going on outside. This is crazy. We're going to pull this over. And I keep just twisting. I think you can just go into the center and then pull it over. Here we go. And we're going to do one more. This is the 0.1. Tiny. So that's basically exactly 1 millimeter. So you know that is pretty small. All right, so we're going to go to our selection and just select that, and we're going to go here and center those. All right, so everything, you see all the dots, they should line up perfectly. All right, so this is, like I said, 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters, so it's pretty small. And now we're going to try to bring this into Maya, and we want it verbatim. We want it nice and clean and so forth. We can go in, select everything. Everything is 1. We're going to type in 0.028 later when we save this for the laser cutter, and also save it in different formats. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save as. And we're going to save it on our desktop. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on our desktop. I'm going to call it a laser, so we know it's going to come up here on the top. All right, so laser. And we're going to type in laser template. All right. And you may want to call it your own name because these files are going to be shared at the library and so you can recognize it. So we're going to save laser template, and that's just an Illustrator file. All right. So that's an AI. So we want to keep that, and then we're going to do a save as again. Save as, save it on your computer, and we're going to call this underscore Maya. Always do underscore in your naming conventions because Maya likes it, and I think other software likes underscore for naming conventions. This one we're going to do Illustrator, but we want to save it as Illustrator 8. All right, so Maya likes the old 8 version, and we're going to go ahead and save that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into Maya, and we're going to create a whole new scene. So File, New Scene. Obviously, you guys are going to open up your Maya file for the first time. All right, so you see it's blank. One of the things you want to maybe check, just in case someone's set up your settings incorrectly, but it should automatically be default to, I just hit the gear here. This is for preferences, settings, and you want to make sure that is on centimeter. If it's not, hit it on there and hit save. All right, it should be automatically by default. Hopefully our IT person set this up correctly, and then if it was inches or meter, just change it. But Maya is scientifically wants it dead accurate because these are for film sets where everything matters, like how far the aperture is to the set and all the post-production. Everything has to line up down to a millimeter. So Maya and most 3D software pride themselves in the accuracy of how these files come in and outputs. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to import this file. Actually, we're going to go hit create, and I think it's an Illustrator right here. And you can do bevel, but for us, I would just go ahead and say curves. It's easier. And earlier I had a poop file. We won't do that. Let's go desktop and then see if we can find our laser. All right, and then we have a Maya file. So we're gonna hit open, and you can see our file just popped right in, and you can see that it actually kind of saved that distance from that origin. You remember how we did 7.5 and we had an 8 centimeter by 8 centimeter, so it kind of buffered it automatically, which is kind of cool and kind of weird at the same time. All right, so the cool part is going to come up here really quickly. We're going to go ahead and start creating some 3D shapes, and then we're going to save this out and as STL file, and I'm going to set this up in the printer in my office lab. All right, so one of the things I'm going to do is go ahead and show you guys how to turn off this grid. So go to show and grid, because it's going to be confusing trying to line up a box here. All right, so we do want to do some 3D printing, but we want to be very minimal on the size. So you guys know what about 1 centimeter is. So we're going to go ahead and create a polygon cube. And we're going to do depth is, let's do 0.5. And then we're going to do 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And you can see it should like perfectly line up. All right, so we're going to hit 4. And then we can hit F to get really close. And it should probably not snap here. All right, and we're just going to do this by eye. And that's why I turned off the grid so you can see it. All right, so we're going to just rinse and repeat. Let's really quickly go to the side here. I'm going to hit like the new feature of that. Makes a weird sound when I hit the space bar. All right, so we have that. I think we did 0.5. So we're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to do this several times. All right, we're going to just try to get these as perfectly as possible. And you can see the circles are beveled. So, well, this may not work so well with the circles because they're a little bit kind of disjointed here. So our alignment may not be perfect, but we'll give it a shot. All right, so we're just gonna rinse and repeat. You can, if you get a good groove on this, you may not have to do this. Watch, just do exactly what we did before, 1, 1, 1, and hit create. And we can go to that side view. You'll probably just stay in here from here on out. I don't know, that's really weird. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and zoom in here. Hit F as in Frank, that'll zoom it in right to your object. And here we go, hit F again. All right, so we're gonna just kind of line that up. All right, just do your best. I don't know why it's not snapping. Typically you could hit V and it would snap, but it's not doing that. It's not doing it at all. All right, so we're just gonna rinse and repeat. Polygon, cube, and you know the drill. Just gonna go 0.5, create, oops. Let's rinse and repeat, create, polygon, cube. All right, we're gonna do 0.5, 0.5, and then create. And this one's a little bit smaller. Hit F, as in Frank. All right. And it's really hard, especially with bad eyes like me. You could probably go up on your brightness, which I just did on my computer. I can do that on a keyboard. All right. So this is probably not the best, but here we go, create cube, and just go all the way to 0.25. Sounds like the party is finally over out there, thank God. And hit create. All right, hit F as in Frank. Pull this in here. All right, this is gonna be a long video. And we're gonna go ahead and create cube. I think we did a 0.1. 0.1. Create. F as in Frank. All right, that's looking good. All right, so we're going to rinse and repeat for create, polygon, and cylinder. All right, so we want the same thing. We have our radius and our height. So this is a little bit different than our square. So radius is like from the center out. So I think the radius would be 1, and I think the full size of it would be 2. So we're going to have to kind of play around with this. On the height, we want to repeat what we did for the square, and this may take a couple tries. So I'm going to do 60. I'm going to go pretty with the divisions a lot and hit create, and it has flipped it. So we're going to hit E and rotate this, and I'm going to hit this to 90 degrees so everything's exact. Hit W, and we're going to do pull this in here. We're going to hit F as in Frank, and we're going to do this again, kind of eyeball it. Now this one's totally different because when we did Bezier or curves, when we saved it, it did it just a little bit, didn't give us these perfect linear lines. So we should have probably, I don't know, created outlines in Illustrator. All right, so we're going to ballpark it the best we can. All right, so I am going to go in here and see if we have the same thickness. So let's definitely make this a little bit thinner, and I think we can do that in polygon. So our height, let's try 0.5. All right, so 0.5 we know is our height. It looks like that's matching up here. Let's go. Boy, this spacebar thing is not cool anymore. All right, so here we go. That looks like that's correct. All right, I think you guys know what to do for the rest. I'm just going to keep recording and talking, but you guys can kind of launch ahead on your own accord. Just try to get them to line up as good as possible. Again, we're going to try to slide the laser cut on top of this form, and hopefully it will slide in there correctly. Now, if they're the same size, they may not, because it may, obviously it's going to be way too tight, but this is just an experiment for you guys to see the tolerance levels for each of these. All right, so let's keep going. Create. And also one of the things is you can tear these sheets off. So get into the practice of like how can you make this work a little bit more efficiently. And you can also hit G maybe to do your last thing. All right, so the radius is going to get smaller and smaller, right? 0.5. That's why we do centimeters. It's really easy to translate this data. All right, so we have this, and I already did it wrong again. So let's do our height as 0.5. All right, hit E. Now you can do this for a little bit until you start like really doing some really radical stuff, like maybe changing the polygon count or cutting it and so forth. So you can change the divisions on here and so forth. All right, so we're going to get as close as possible. Again, you're just going to eyeball this, and then just try to get in the center. I have a feeling this stuff won't line up, but it'll be nice to get the calipers out and make sure we have the right size. All right, so let's try this. Let's try doing a Command D, and let's see. Nope, we don't have any way of rejoin that. So, all right, so I was hoping that we could play around with the numbers here. All right, so we're gonna do another cylinder. All right, so this time we did our height. Let's make sure that remembers it now. 0.5, let's do a point, have we done a 0.25 yet? 25, create, all right. Rotate that, hit 90, hit W, all right. All right. Again, we're just learning how to do 3D printing because the stuff we do, we definitely want some pure, pure accuracy on this stuff. All right, we're gonna do 2 more and I'll stop the video and we'll do a second one on how to export all this stuff. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and create, oops, cylinder, I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my focus here. All right, I think we just did one, right? 0.25. Create, hit E, rotate, and 90. All right, so that one is incorrect. So what did we do? 0.5. So what is that? 0.5. All right, so this radius, 0.5. Nope. 0.1. All right. Ooh. What would that be? So maybe we'll just do this by eye since I can't do my radius. I'm not doing my math. I should have multiplied whatever we had and the radius and multiplied it by 2. Let's see what this is. Let's see what it says. 0.1. I thought that's what I had earlier, so it's acting correctly now. I'm not going to do the last one. All right, looks pretty good. All right, so I'm not going to do that the last little tiny one. Obviously, I'm having some issues with everything. So we're going to hit spacebar and hit spacebar again. And I think we've got this. Let's see what's going on here. Everything's off on this guy. All right, so we're going to stop there. And then on the next video, I'm going to show you how to prep this as an STL file. And we'll have this 3D printed. And also we'll get the Illustrator file and get this ready for laser cutting.